Molly, and I am the owner here at Peaceful and Prenatal. Peaceful and Prenatal is a yoga studio focused solely on perinatal yoga, providing you support from trimester 1 through the 4th trimester. Through these videos, we will be practicing moves that you can take all throughout pregnancy and into postpartum to not only support you, but to support your baby as well. After you've checked in with your healthcare provider, I look forward to sharing my practice with you. If you'd like to learn more about me before beginning, feel free to visit peacefulandprenatal.com. Otherwise, let's meet on the mat. If you are in your 3rd trimester, there's a good chance you're feeling some hip and low back pain. And that is why I am here today. My name is Molly. I'm here from Peaceful and Prenatal, and today we are going to go through a nice little yoga flow together to give you some hip and pelvic mobility, which is great for getting baby into optimal fetal positioning and to also relieve some of this tension that you might be feeling in your low body. A few props we'll need today. Any sort of blanket to put underneath your knees to give you some cushion. I will be using yoga blocks, but if you don't have yoga blocks, any tall books that you might have or cardboard boxes, something to just bring the earth up to you, go ahead and grab those, and then let's meet down on the mat together. Right away when we come down, we'll keep this blanket underneath our knees, spread our fingertips nice and wide, and then go ahead and hook your toes. Try to keep all 10 toes connected here. And then on your next inhale, drop your belly down through center, open up the front of your chest. And as you exhale, plant your feet and round through your spine, chin coming in. Hook your toes as you inhale, open up the front body. Plant your feet as you exhale and open through the back body. So continue with your cat-cow here, keeping your toes a part of this movement so our entire back body is connected. And likely, if you are feeling that low back tightness or some hip soreness, you might get to a spot where your body is asking you to hang there for an extra second or so. And if so, stay there and keep your breath present with you. Not only is this giving us mobility through our spine, but it's also rotating through our hips and our pelvis. So this is a really great sequence to take in this 3rd trimester, so we can create that opening for baby. We'll take 3 more rounds together. Try not to rush yourself. Try to keep your breath full as your body moves, knowing that this movement is also benefiting your baby. And then after that 3rd round, we'll meet back through center. Here's where we'll take our blocks or whatever prop you might be using. We'll place one on the right edge on the mat, one on the center of the mat, keeping your right knee where it is. Step this left foot up. Doesn't have to be pretty to get there. When we come up, we'll just rise our hands off of our blocks for a moment. Rock forward and back, trying to keep the sole of your left foot planted and the top of your right foot planted here on the earth. Now I'd like you to notice here as you lean forward, we're not trying to bring our whole body forward. We're having all of this movement come from our hips. So we're keeping this movement in this area of our body. Now, I have my blocks here. I'm going to bring them up to a higher height, bringing the earth up to me. Position yourself in your props however it feels best. So you can have both hands firmly planted here, and it may be at this highest height, maybe this lower height felt better for your body. And instead of sinking into our hips when we come down onto these blocks, pull those hips back so you have a nice strong low body here. We'll inhale here, looking forward, opening up the front of our body. And as you exhale, pull back from your hips. Left toes come off of the earth. Let me move these blocks so you can see them. Inhale, we come through our low lunge. We open up the front body. Feel this right hip flexor stretch. And exhale, peel those hips back. Continue to flow at your own rhythm, attaching your breath to this movement. This feels really nice if you have tight hamstrings, getting that stretch from our heel, our Achilles, all the way up into our back body as well. Take 2 more rounds like this. No need to rush yourself. Once more like this. Then go ahead and plant that left foot on the earth. Hands can come down to your side and push up from the ground to rise up through your body. Beautiful. When you arrive, bring your arms up above your head and drop your shoulders from your ears so you have space between your ears and your shoulders. From here, your right hand will find your left wrist. On your next inhale, reach up through center, feel space through your ribs, and exhale, fold over to the right. Take a nice breath in and let it go. Come up through center and switch so your right hand finds your left hand finds your right wrist. Come up through center and fold to the left. Maybe you're here, you're feeling this nice stretch through the front of this right hip flexor. We often hold lots of tension through our hips. Nice little stretch. Come up through center, reach up, and as if you were painting an imaginary wall, hands come back to these blocks and bring your left knee to meet the right. Wag your hips from a little side to side here. And then we'll move one block to the left side of the mat, the other block to the center. Be kind to yourself as you step this right foot forward. When you find yourself near low lunge here, rise up through this tall spine coming out of the earth and just rock forward and back a little bit. I like to do this before we come into this next sequence, just so we know what it feels like to move through our body, bringing this isolation of this movement to our hips. And if on that first side you felt like you were crunching yourself, just take a peek here. I have my right foot all the way in the side of the mat. If you need even more space, feel free to bring this right foot even further, even if it comes off of your mat. So when you're leaning forward, you have plenty of space for baby and you're not crunching yourself. When you feel ready, bring those hands to your blocks. And again, pulling those hips back, open up through the front of your chest, a strong low lunge here. Together, we'll inhale in this low lunge. And as we exhale from our hips, push them to the back of the mat, right toes peel. Inhale, drop that foot, open up the front of your chest. And exhale, peel back. Be mindful of how your body is moving. We're not sinking all the way down into these blocks or wherever you were using underneath your hands, but rather you have a tall spine, tall shoulder blades behind you. Feeling this movement through the low body. This movement is fueled by your breath. Two more rounds here. And just like in our cat-cow, if you get to a spot where it feels extra yummy, always feel free to stay there. Once that feels like enough for you, we'll meet back in our low lunge. Hands come off of the blocks, push up out of the earth to rise up through your spine. Reach your arms up above your head and drop your shoulders down and away from your ears. Starting with our left hand finding our right wrist, we inhale, reach up through center, and exhale, fold over to the left. Allow your gaze and your heart to come up towards the ceiling. Feel that nice stretch through this left hip flexor this time, the front of our left hip. And then come up through center and switch. Right hand finding your left wrist as you fold over to the right. Breathe into the low body as you create the space. Release your hands as they come up through center. paint that imaginary wall, hands coming to your blocks, knees coming together here. Wag your tail, notice the difference you might have created in this low body. Beautiful. Now we'll go ahead and slide our blocks together here and hook our toes. Open your knees wide and we come into our froggy squat. This blanket can come off to the side here. And then slide those blocks or that cardboard box closer to you so you can find a tall spine here. Quite often what happens in this third trimester, especially, you feel like we need to lean forward, but it feels so great to create space through our ribs as we're getting this nice external rotation with our knees. And then one knee at a time, go ahead and drop them in towards center, a little rock through the hips here. Keep your breath present with you. Slow this movement down, maybe even slowing your breath down. And then once this movement feels like enough, hands can stay here on the blocks. Push your hips up and back behind you. Step your feet wide so you have plenty of space for baby. And then your hip points push behind you as you fold down towards the earth. So you have some options here. Option one, if stillness feels good, keep your hands here on the blocks or hover your hands out in front of you, feeling this release through this low back. For a few moments here, it takes that job out of our spine from having to hold us and baby upright. Option two, if movement will feel better for you, hands can find opposite elbows. As your feet stay grounded, you rock from side to side. Wherever you are, keep your breath present with you. And option three, if your hamstrings are really feeling tight today, bring your hands into fists with thumbs out to the side and tap along the back of your hamstrings, encouraging some circulation here. Wherever you are, take 2 more rounds of breath, pushing those hip points behind you. And after that second round of breath, if your hands, with your hands, you can either hover them out in front of you, or if you are comfortable, have them placed on your shins. And then one vertebrae at a time, as slowly as you can, we start to roll up through center here. Make yourself go even slower. No need to rush. Your head will be the last thing to stand tall. Reach your arms all the way up above your head. Drop your shoulders from your ears. Beautiful. Wiggle those fingers down to your sides. Let's move these blocks off of the mat here and meet standing nice and wide on our mat, feet parallel. What we want to make sure here is that the edges of our feet feel nice and connected so we don't have to grip through our toes. So you can even bring all of your toes up off of the earth and feel how this connects those 4 parts on your foot. And then one toe at a time, slowly place them back down so you have this strong connection here. Rock your hips a little from side to side. Notice some space you might have already created. And we're gonna add on here. So keep your left foot facing forward, turn your right toes out, bend through that knee. What happens often when we get here is our hips are pointing towards this bent knee. If you need to, use your hands to guide your hips nice and wide here. And then dropping your shoulders from your ears, spread all 10 fingers nice and wide. We call this our warrior 2 pose here. I love this pose to build strength and to also remind ourselves that that strength already lives inside of us during pregnancy. We're just tapping back into it. So take a nice big inhale here. And as you exhale, drop your right arm to your leg. Reach this left arm up and over. Feel this extension from your middle fingertip all the way down through your heel. Beautiful. Take a nice big inhale. And on your exhale, rise through center. Turn your right toes in, Left toes out as you bend through that knee. Guide your hips wide if they need that little help. Inhale here. And exhale this time, left arm to our leg, right fingertips reaching up and over. Beautiful. Take an inhale. And exhale, rise through center, feet parallel. So you know this movement, we're going to take it a few times with our breath so we can create a little bit of a flow here in our body with our breath, our movement, and our energy. Right toes turning out, warrior two. Inhale, warrior two, and exhale, side angle. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, up through center, feet parallel. Left toes turn out. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, up through center. You know this movement. We're going to do it one more time on either side. Let's breathe here together. Ooh, I lost my balance there too. Go ahead and bring your hands to your hips and nice big circles here as slowly as you can. Feeling the space that you've created in the low body and reminding yourself when you feel these aches, they are common, especially as baby starts to engage in your pelvis. Reverse your circle in the opposite direction. Once baby starts to engage in that pelvis, you're feeling lots of pressure down there. Taking some movement, even just for a few minutes with your breath, is a really great way to support your body. Beautiful. Let's meet back through center. Turn your heels in, toes in, heel, toe, toe. And if you'd like to end, place your hands together at your heart center. I am so proud of you for taking this movement for yourself today. I hope it felt great for your body, and I hope you continue to move your body in ways that do feel good. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your practice with me. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.